So, hello vinyl community. This would be my 9th video, I believe. This King Bullard version, songs of the BOS label. Um, what I wanted to do, I was trying to think of something to do because I hadn't got any new records lately, but I did get a few things showed up in the mail a couple of days ago that Numero Records, I've got their subscription service that they do every year, and so I got three albums and 3 singles. Just go through those real quick. This is what is playing in the background, if you can hear that, which is kind of a gospel soul music from the 60s and 70s from the BOS label. Numero kind of specializes in little obscure labels reissuing soul and garage rock and a lot of other stuff. Here's the inner sleeve of the record. It's kind of cool, and on the back has a little bit about each of the bands on this album. They did. This is one of those short-lived labels, but somewhere on here it says they did. Not sure where it is. About 15 45s and 10 albums, something like that. So there's that. The other 2 things I got, also from Numero, and I haven't opened or listened to either one of them yet. This is Good God Apocryphal Hymns, which is more gospel robe funk, spiritual soul, psychedelic guitars, heavenly harmonica. Sounds pretty good to me. I look forward to listening to that one. This thing, I don't know, some picture of some guy's butt on there. This is Numero's Celestial Soul Portrait that some guy in the mid-70s ambient synthesizer, tape reversal feedback, electronica. Doesn't really sound like my kind of stuff, but we'll see. I'll give it a listen. So those are the 3 latest albums I got. What I wanted to do before those showed up the other day, and I didn't have anything new to talk about, I thought I would title this Matt's Meager 45 collection, and just run through my 45s really quick, because that's it. Well, there's a few others here, but it's not a huge collection. Used to have a lot more than I do now, but sold a lot of them and regret it now. But I thought I would just go through, and some of these I've shown before, but I thought I'd just kind of run through everything. The ones I've shown before I'll do pretty quick. Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, I learned the hard way. It's a 45 box set that has the regular album on 7 or 8 45s in there, and there's a little booklet and poster in there too. I think this has the regular album plus a couple of bonus tracks, and it also has a couple of instrumental versions and maybe 1 or 2 alternate versions of some of the songs on there. So that's a good one. That is her that's her latest regular album. This came out after that, Soul Time by Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. But then this is a great album. Pick this up if you run across it. Well worth your time. This is just collects some of her non-album 45s and some various other things that were previously unreleased. Sadly, I heard that they had a new album due out in July or August, and that has been postponed because Sharon Jones found out that she has cancer. So hopefully we'll keep her in our thoughts and prayers and wish her the best, and hope that she gets back to overcomes that and can get back to her regular life and making music again. There was one track from her new album that was on the Daptone website that was sounded really good. So we're thinking about you sharing and pulling for you. Um, Showed this before. This is a Record Store Day, Paul Weller's Sonic Kicks album. On it's not the entire album, but it's 6:45s with a lot of the songs from the album. I saw where Yep Rock Records, you can buy this now. It's just on regular black vinyl. These are on colored vinyl, and they come with a poster that is, according to the Yep Rock website, hand signed by Paul Weller. So it's nice to have his autograph, and it's nice to have it hand signed as opposed to foot signed, I guess, or however else you would sign something. Another Record Store Day 45, see Emily play Pink Floyd. Seen a lot of those lately. And Record Store Day also, Husker Du. This is a Numero record release of their first 45, and the other 45 is, I believe, a couple of songs that they cut at the same session that were not ever released, as far as I know. From that same Numero subscription that I got the albums I just showed you, they don't send everything out at once. These came out earlier this year. Cave Dwellers, these are both double 45s and nice thick cardboard covers with some stuff about the band. Obscure little garage band. I think this is called Pretty. Same thing. This is a little later, 60, 67, 68. Little booklet in there with some information about them. A little bit more psychedelic. Wicked Lester. Obscure little kind of sort of hard rock, part power pop band. This is 1979, I believe this dates from. Wicked Lester is who they took the name from. Was the original name of Kiss, according to this. I didn't know that before now. They don't really sound anything like Kiss, but I guess they were fans, I suppose. This has a little box that opens, and I got this 4 or 5 years ago. The Pipettes, band from England, and inside is a copy of their 45 ABC, and the actual 45 that goes in there. ABC backed with Judy, white vinyl, and not done yet. This is called the limited edition collector's box. There are, I got 2 there, but there's 3 lollipops, which, being 5 or 6 years old now, I'm not sure how good those would taste. The Pipettes they put out 2 albums so far. They put out their first album, which put out some 45s in their first album. I want to say 203, 204. If you like the Bangles, the Go-Go's, that sort of thing, then check them out. They had a few hits off their first album in England, I believe. Didn't really do anything here. I hear them played on Little Steven's Underground Garage, but it's kind of talk show by the Go-Go's, sort of that sort of music. I like that. I like the old girl group stuff, and I like Go-Go's and Bangles. So they did their first album, which is called We Are the Pipettes. I'm not sure if it's still around or not, but if you like that kind of music, check it out if you can find it. And so they did the first album, then half the band left to go somewhere else, and several years later, I want to say about 2010 or so, they finally did their second album, which I don't have. It just has one or two of the original members. I heard a couple of songs from it and wasn't too impressed with what I've heard, but one of these days I'll track it down just to check it out. So the Pipettes, yeah, check them out. This is another Numero record release. It is the Soul Walkers, and the significance of that, and I've shown this a couple of times, was that Numero Records put out this box set of 45s last year with a nice book. All these really obscure kind of fly-by-night labels from the 60s and 70s. There is, I want to say, 45s in the box, or 40 or something. There's a lot of them in there, and they all reproduce the original labels that they came out on. This one, the box set is limited to, I want to say, 3,000. This was the first 500. You got this bonus 45, a 46 45, and after that you just get the box until that sells out. So I pre-ordered it and got the bonus 45, and there's that. This was Prophets of Peace, which is number 35 of 500 copies. This was Secret Stash Records. I should have grabbed that album and I didn't. This was a bonus that was released along with Twin City Funk and Soul, which was a Secret Stash double album. First several hundred came out on purple vinyl, which I've got, and I've shown that before. And it is just small label funk and soul bands in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. In the covers like 1964 to 75, something like that. Really good stuff. This was a extra 45 that they only made 500 copies of. That was this is not on the album, but the Prophets of Peace are on the album with a different song than this. So that's kind of a neat thing to have. Let's get to the box of 45s here and see what we got. The Budos Band is Hidden Hand, Cackle. This is from Daptone Records. This was the Budos Band album, the one with the cobra on the cover, that came out 3 or 4 years ago. I've got that on vinyl over there. Should have pulled those out so I could show them with this stuff, and I didn't think of it. The 45 was if you bought the album, the first I don't remember, first 500 copies came with the 45, and so I bought the album early too, and I got the 45. This is another Numero. I've got the vinyl album subscription, and I've got the 45 subscription this year. So this is Hurt So Bad by Sign of the Times and I Think of You, which I held that up backwards, but so that's a pretty good one. Well, let me show those while I've got them, because in addition to the 3 albums from Numero that I got the other day, at the same time I got 3 more 45s from the 45 subscription. This are Soul Partners. That is, well, no, that's the Brown Bombers and the Soul Partners with Wait For Me on that side. And this one is just the Soul Partners, a song called Just Fun. Is it any good? I don't know, because I haven't played it yet. I just got this a couple of days ago. This is someone named James Dockery. And we got Giving You the Love You Need and My Faith Is All Gone. Same thing, haven't played it yet. Numero 45s, they do pretty well. If you like old 60s, 70s soul, is definitely worth checking them out at numerogroup.com. The Young Souls is the last of this, and it is Puppet on a String. I wonder if that's the old song, and then Quit Waiting for Tomorrow to Come. So I need to give those a listen. Okay. trying to get through this kind of quick. Here's another Pipettes 45 from 203 or whenever the first album came out. This is another Judy on one side and Hurts to See You Dance, 748 of 1,000 copies. And the 45 is right here in a separate deal. And so there's the 45 on pink vinyl. And it's a little, I don't know if I can get that out of there. Whatever that is, that came with the 45 also. So they, I wish they would have made their second album quicker. Well, they still had the rest of the band there, because their first one's pretty good stuff. Okay, we got Kinks live EP from the One from the Road live album in 1980. This was, I think this is from England, and I got this way back when in the 80s. But it's just got 4 songs from the live album, from the 1980 live album. So there's really almost the same cover as the album cover. This was in there too, another Pipettes 45 on green vinyl. That has its own sleeve somewhere. I need to track that down. What we got? So, Veronica Falls, Slumberland Records. They're a couple of songs off their latest album, which is, here's the actual 45, which is on kind of a cool black and white, or kind of bluish almost vinyl. Good stuff there. Let's see. Another Numero Records subscription service record. Richard Thompson record from Record Store Day just gone by. The Mystery 45 from Record Store Day just gone by. So I won't keep you in suspense. It's Iko Iko by the Dixie Cups and the Grateful Dead on the other side. The Raconteurs, Jack White's band. Got this a few years ago, which is Steady as She Goes and Store-Bought Bones. This is supposed to be worth a little bit of money. I mean, not a whole lot, but a little bit, because it has an A on it instead of a B on it. And I used to know what that meant, but I don't remember right off the top of my head now. I guess this was just the first issue, and it was a little bit more limited run than the second issue. Let's see, we're going to skip that one because that's going to be for another video. Here's a cool little record, Hot Pie and Candy. Hot Pie and Candy is the name of the record label. It's kind of funny. The Bus People Express, and this is a kind of a funk record from, I guess it originally came out in the 80s, I believe, or late 70s. It's a Daptone 45. It's on clear vinyl, which is now sold out, and the releases since then are on just black vinyl. Cool little slab of funk there. This is a, I'm just kind of racing through these because there's more than I thought. This is another record from Numero that was a bonus 45 with one of the albums, and I can't remember which one, but it's Renee Acker, If I Had a Magic Wand. Same song on both sides. It's just one side stereo, the other is mono. It's I haven't played that in a while. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember that I like it. It's a good little soul song. This is another Daptone record by Hank Soulman Mullen. He Upset Your Dreams. and that's just their regular. They sell on their website. They sell little CDs, but vinyl records and 45s, and that's just a regular one of their 45s. This, and I'd shown this before, Baby Blue by Badfinger on the Apple label. The opposite side, someone messed up because it's She's a Woman by the Beatles. It actually is, the record is I Feel Fine and She's a Woman. Somebody accidentally glued a Badfinger label on there. Okay, let me get that thing out of the way. These are my third favorite band of all time, The Jam. Absolute beginners. And When You're Young and Smithers Jones, which the 45 version is not the orchestral version on the Setting Sun's album. It is the regular guitar, bass, and drums version of it. So it's a little bit different than you're used to if you have the album. So Butterfly Collector and Strange Town, they had great B-sides. The Jam did a lot of their B-sides. That's a shame they didn't go on the regular albums. But this is, what is this, down in the tube station at midnight, I believe, in A-Bomb and Water Street. Or, well, I don't know, we'll find out. That's Start by The Jam. And $2.99 from the long gone and much missed Metamorphosis Records in Dallas, Texas. I bought these back in '83 or so, I want to say. They, let's see what this has on it. Yeah, A-Bomb on one side and David Watts on the other, so it's not down in the tube station because that was its own 45. These are not the original English picture sleeves. These are the second, because the originals came out when they came out, and then I want to say 82 or 83 they reissued all of them. So, but I mean, they're still 30-some years old. But okay, let's see here. Things are falling all over the place. Let me try to get this a little better. Yeah, this is another, that Minneapolis Funk and Soul. This actually came with the record. That's the first 500 copies. That's 118 of 500. They wrote that on there, not me. Here's another Secret Stash record, which was Long Live Boogaloo, which was kind of Tejano band's garage rock in the 60s type stuff. And that's 164 of 250 copies of that. That came with the first 250 copies of that album. Got you a 45. So that's what that is. That's for an upcoming video. That, and I believe this too are also for the same upcoming video. Yeah. Deptone Records, Charles Bradley, Golden Rule, and No Time for Dreaming, which I think is just off of his, he just had an album come out, but the album before that, where he's laying down on the side of the laying down, I think they're just 2 songs off of that album. They might be a couple of non-album tracks, but I'm not sure. Faceless Werewolves, that's a local Dallas or Denton band that were around 10 years or so ago. I'm not sure if they're still around or not. Here's the Pipettes 45 sleeve for the Kisses thing that I showed with the Kinks record a few minutes ago. And here's a little flexi disc, Femme Fatale, the Velvet Underground song done by REM. This was in an issue of a magazine, issue number 27 of the Bob, B-O-B magazine, that was given away with the issue. Got 2 copies of that somehow. that was from back in 80, 83, 84, something like that. Style Council, Money Go Round. That was one of their, I don't know if that's their first 45, but it was one of the very first ones. Money Go Round parts 1 and 2. Bought that in 83 at Metamorphosis, probably the same time, or I'm pretty sure the same time I got the Jam 45s. Fela Kuti, is that how you say that? Record Store Day from last year. An old Record Store Day, just Rolling Stones, Brown Sugar, and etc. Another Record Store Day of a Paul Weller 45 from the same as the box set, but this came out the Record Store Day before. It's on colored vinyl, which this is also in the box set, so I guess I've got it twice. Link Ray, Record Store Day. The Minor Birds, Record Store Day. Rick James and Neil Young in the same band. Back in, when was this, 66 or so, 65? It was before Buffalo Springfield, I think. Apparently they recorded this for Motown, and it never was released until Motown did their CD box sets of all their 45s by year a few years ago, and they finally released this. At that point, there's apparently there's a whole album's worth of stuff recorded that's never been released as of yet. Shuggy Otis, Record Store Day. James Brown, Record Store Day. White Stripes, wish that was the real one, but it's a Record Store Day re-release. Ditto. The Kinks, Mirror of Love. It's not in great shape, but it's the promo copy of that, which is from, is that from Soap Opera? That's not Soap Opera. Preservation Act 2 album. So it's got that kind of shiny silver label, and the back side is, I think, just the same song again on the regular label. Got that way back when, and it's just a radio station promo copy. An old Ringo Starr 45 from the early 80s. Paul McCartney Coming Up. That was the copy that came with the McCartney 2 album, I believe. Yesterday and Act Naturally on the old Swirl Capital label, which thinking that may be an original. That's for the other video. She's a Woman. I Feel Fine. I used to have a ton of Beatles and Rolling Stones, and I don't have hardly any anymore. Lucy Loves Schroeder was a Dallas band 10 years or so ago. I picked that up when I saw one of their shows. Then, and I had shown these before, Patty Duke Fan Club, and get out of there, Patty Duke Fan Club, and this is various bands doing Patty Duke songs, so, and both on colored vinyl. So I think, except for those that I'm holding for another video, that is that. And so that's video number 9. Wanted to thank everybody that's emailed me, that's watched the videos, and that's subscribed. When anyone emails me, I email back and say thanks. When you subscribe, I guess I'm supposed to say thanks. I'm not sure, but I haven't, so I guess I probably should do that. But so yeah, one last thing. That is the White Stripes put out that little set of these records a few years ago, just so you have a comparison, that play on a special record player. I think there were 8 or 9 records altogether. The others were all previously released White Stripes 45. This thing, Top Special, has not been released in any other form before or since. And that's the only one I have. I wish I had the whole set, because the whole set with that little record player, I seen those on eBay, and they fetch a pretty penny. That one alone, I think, is worth a little bit of money. But anyway, I picked that up 204, 205, whenever that came out. So thanks for everybody that subscribes and watches, and this has gone on long enough. So have a good weekend, and we will talk to you soon.